Welcome to the Greater New York Meeting 2015 in downtown Manhattan at the Javits Center, and I'm with the man behind Dryer Pliers.
Right.
Is it Dryer's Pliers?
No, it's Dryer Pliers.
Dryer Pliers, and you're Jeff Dryer, and you have a very interesting story. So go ahead and tell them your story and how you came out with Dryer Pliers.
Well, I was a private practice general dentist, which I still am, but I'm no longer in private practice, in Plano, Texas. And
that's a suburb of Dallas?
Yes, northern suburb of Dallas.
So you're one of those obnoxious Cowboys fans?
Big time. Yeah, but he's done. Plus, I'm not a big fan of Jerry Jones.
So he broke his collarbone again?
Again.
Yeah, so is he out for the season?
Yeah, he's done. But I'm also a Patriots fan because now I live in Boston.
So how'd you get from Dallas to Boston?
I married into it. I met my wife while she was living in Texas, but she's originally from Massachusetts, and she moved back. We started dating. Then she moved back to Texas again. We got married. And I had about 2003, I had a pretty bad motorcycle accident, which ended up having to quit practicing dentistry, sold my practice. Fortunately, I was covered with disability insurance, as every dentist should be. But after selling my practice, my wife said, "Hey, you can move me home now." So here we are.
What was not to be too personal, but what were the lessons learned on the motorcycle accident? Was the accident where you weren't wearing a helmet, or was it off road?
No, I had a helmet on, but
was it on the street?
Yeah.
So was it your fault, or did a car hit you, or?
No, well, it was supposedly pretty much it was my fault. There was a median in between the road, sharp curve, and I didn't know the sharp curve. Hit the median, rode over it, and then landed face first in the opposite side with the helmet on. But it knocked my head back and had some bleeding in the brain. So
you were disabled. So you were disabled then?
Permanently, yeah.
Oh, permanently?
Yeah.
And do you feel better now? I mean, how long did it take you? I mean, you seem totally normal now.
I know, but I'm doing amazingly great. Considering
that was 2003.
That was 2003, and
how long were you let's say in the?
I actually came back to my practice, and after about 6-7 months after the wreck, and because I seemed fine, but my memory is affected, my immediate short-term memory, and I practiced almost a year because it doesn't affect my memory of things I'd already learned. I knew dentistry backwards and forwards. I knew it better than at my own house, what to do. But I noticed that I was forgetting things that I'd just read in their chart, or I'd look back at their radiographs, and say, okay, I need to do number 10, number 29 distal, and I would get in their mouth, and I would go, I'd look back, and I had a couple of close calls that really scared me. So I said, I can't do this. I can't risk this. So I called my disability, for dental disability insurance companies, and I told them what was happening. I said, I can't practice. Of course, they said, well, go see this doctor and that doctor. And they said, oh, yeah, you can't do it. And, MRIs.
So the MRI showed that you had some type of short-term memory loss?
Well,
there's a lot of kids out there. A lot of them are thinking, do I need disability? And
I'm glad you brought that up.
What lessons did you learn on disability? I mean, now that you collect disability, do you wish you would have bought it differently or more?
No, thank God.
Talk about disability.
When I was a senior in dental school at University of Texas in Houston, during one of those I remember we were all eating lunch. Someone came in and spoke to us, and it was a fairly young dentist who had, I don't even remember why, but he became disabled, and he was talking to us about how important it is to buy disability insurance specific for private, practicing dentistry, because that's what you're trained to do. And if something happens, with your back or your neck or anything, you need to buy it immediately when you graduate from dental school. It might seem like, it's a good bit of money, but in reality, it is not much. And basically, you can only buy an amount equivalent to what your income is. So when you're first starting out, you buy a minimal policy, but as your practice grows, increase it. A lot of dentists I've talked to, they all go, "Wow, you had enough?" Because I was at the peak of my practice. I'd been practicing, I don't know, 12, I think maybe 12 years. And I was just really at a higher level. Unfortunately, I had, as you increase your income from your practice, you need to call your disability insurance company and raise the amount for your coverage. And another note is your disability insurance payments. This is huge. My CPA loved me when I told him this. Don't deduct your disability insurance payments as an office expense. Deduct them. Have you heard this before? Deduct as after taxes. You pay your own disability insurance. That way, if you ever need it, it's tax free. Tax free. Because you can only, it limits you, and it hurts when you, like me, I became disabled at age 40. I never thought I would. Never. And thank God I had enough coverage, because income-wise, I didn't really.
A name brand company. I mean, who can you say who you bought it from? The insurance? Does that even matter?
It was through through ADA, what an insurance company they'd recommended.
Dental Association.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And fortunately,
was that the Texas Dental Association or the American
Dental Association?
So the one they recommend is the one you bought from.
Yeah, just try to find a disability insurance company, a policy that will allow, basically specific to private, what you're trying to do, private practice, because there are some policies that will say, well, if you can go and teach at a dental assistant school, then we won't pay. Or if you can go teach in a community college, we won't pay. But you have no possibility of making the income level of a private practice dentist. And because that's what you're trained to do. You're not trained, you need to have a policy that's going to pay you equivalent to what your income you're used to making.
So what's that clause called?
I would, specific to private practice is how I refer to it.
Okay. So then now that you're disabled and you decided to focus more time on your patented invention, tell us about that. Your dryer pliers.
What happened was, as several dental town members, if they've been around long enough, might remember, I introduced and talked about them quite a bit on Dental Town, because I invented these I came up with the idea in 2002, practicing dentistry, and in 2003, literally the month that I was doing marketing them out of my own practice, opened up in, separate incorporation. There's Howard. How are you? I literally the month that I started marketing on them and introduced them, that's when I had the motorcycle wreck. And so with the TBI, the traumatic brain injury, in trying to recover from that, and then eventually realizing I can't practice dentistry, having to sell my practice, all of that, I put it all to the side until this year. My wife, who was a dental hygienist, said, "Jeff, you've got you got to do something with those pliers or leave them alone. Because the whole time I'd been tinkering with them and improving them and just, I'd say maybe a year or two ago, I wasn't marketing them to anybody. I had no exposure at all. And I had lost connections with dentists because I wasn't in practice. And I kind of questioned whether there was still a need for them. But I knew that I had radically improved them, where now I've got them.
Well, tell the story.
Exactly
What
like I want
exactly are they?
All right.
And I just saw your YouTube video. In fact, I commented on your YouTube video. But
which one did you watch?
Did you post that on
There
Dental
are
Town?
3 YouTube videos.
Yeah. I watched all 3.
Oh,
Did
good.
you know you can post those on Dental Town? When you go make a post on Dental Town, there's a little YouTube box. So if you go to YouTube and you click share, and it says video embed, and you cut and paste the embed and you throw it in the YouTube block, and that YouTube video is right on Dental Town. And if you ever go throw a YouTube video on Dental Town, the views will explode because there's 205,000 dentists on that thing.
When medically and everything hit with me, I quit going on Dental Town. All right.
So, and remember, most people are listening to this on iTunes, so
they're not seeing.
So only.
You know how when you've got your patient laid back and you've prepped an MO, a mesial posterior composite restoration, say on an MO on tooth number 15 or 14, and that little sectional matrix band, whatever system you use. You know to carry. You have basically most dentists are using their thumb and index finger to carry that little band back there because there are no cotton pliers or hemostats or anything that can hold that band to deliver it without distorting the curvatures of it, bending the corner or something. That's why that's a big problem with all sectional manufacturers. So I looked for about a year when I first started using sectional systems. That was my biggest complaint, was I can't believe they don't make something to deliver this mesial positioned sectional matrix band. And I looked at conventions all over the place, and you have to turn that around because this is mesial.
No.
Yeah. And couldn't find them. I would go along the booths asking, different suppliers, do you sell something, pliers that I can deliver sectional measurement? And they all looked at me blankly because they weren't dentists. They didn't understand what I'm talking about. They think, oh, well, you can do this, but it's not a flip top lid. I'm going, no, you've got, you have to come in from the front. They've got lips, cheeks, and everything, and you can only come in from here in a limited space. Even you've got a rubber dam on if you use a rubber dam, hopefully, when you're doing posterior composites. Even less room to get your fat thumb and finger in there without bending that band. So I tinkered with them because I was at a hockey game, Dallas Stars game, with an orthodontist buddy, and I was telling him about it, my complaint, and he goes, Jeff, why don't you just make them? I said, what? What do you mean? He goes, you make them. And so we had a few more beers and watched the Stars, and he talked me into it. I said, all right, I'll try. Started tinkering with them in 2002, and I got patents and decided, hey, all right, I'll try these on my own. But
so the patents in America is it 17 years or 19 years?
20.
U.S. patents are now 20 years?
Yes, 20 years.
And you got the patent in 2000?
2003. I got several patents on them. 2003 and 2004 covers the patents.
So you get till 24?
Yes.
And this is 15?
Ballpark. Right.
So you got to get rolling on these things.
That's what Marianne says and what my wife said.
That's why you got to start.
I'm improving them, and in my
that deal.
I need exposure, but the mesial plier is able to basically you open that. Yeah, put your glasses on. See the rest ledge? Close it. Hold it. That holds for mesial delivery. into an MO prep.
But she'd be facing.
No, you're coming in.
She's in your head. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No flip top lid.
Nice.
And look at that. Talk about limited space. You have your rubber dam clamp back there, and they can't open very wide, and you can't stretch their cheeks out that far. You're not doing this. You're doing this.
Cammy, will you come lay on the table so we can try this on a live demonstration?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Cammy.
You know what I actually did? I've got a between 30 and 31. I've been open contact.
Now, could you
Believe it or
also
not.
use the prong to burnish the?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. After you put it in, at the right angle too. I mean, that's another instrument that's you're like, how do I get on the Mesial? Now that's the Mesial one.
And what do you have any try ring that you like to work with, or any? Do you have any favorites there? Or are you agnostic to all those, or?
I have not tried the V rings because they came out after I quit practicing. I've looked at them. I think they're a great idea, but I liked the Garrison Golds. I liked Paladins.
Now, have you?
Have
you worked with any of those companies? I mean, have you?
I've talked to them, but it's hard to get in the door. Really hard for an independent guy, that's invented a product. They just don't tend to listen. And a lot of the manufacturers that you are talking to, they're not dentists. They don't understand the concept. I've shown them to some, but
I think you should post these on Dental Town.
Right.
And then see if you can get any product champion dentists who are big posters on Dental Town, like,
right.
Artie or whoever, to see if any of those guys like those.
Leanne Brady loves them.
She loves them.
She told me to tell you
She's probably the most famous clinical dentist. She worked at Panky at Scottsdale.
I know, and
she's a legend.
I know, and she absolutely loves them. And I saw her yesterday.
You saw her yesterday here?
Yes, she's here. She's doing hands-on courses today. But I had sent her a set of my pliers, 6-8 weeks ago. And she said, I love these. They're great. I'm like, wow. Okay, cool. She said, yeah, use my name, da-da-da. And yesterday she told me, tell Howard I said da-da. I don't remember what she told me to tell you. Part of the brain ding.
Right on.
So you'll have to ask her.
I think she told her that I was the most handsome dentist in all of dentistry.
That was it, but I didn't want to embarrass you.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Howard, have you seen these? Well,
Okay.
come look at these. Yeah, right now.
Jump in.
He just showed them to Leanne Brady the other day.
And
but
I'm not
basically in a nutshell.
Also, how you doing? Howard?
I know. I know your name too. I'm the unknown guy. Mesial and distal. Okay. There's a mesial plier for delivering in a mesial position. There's a distal plier for the distal.
Basically, in a nutshell, every
contact bands.
Every dentist in America is holding
any sectional
these with
matrix
their
band
fingers and thumbs and putting
to
them
put it
on.
in a mesial.
Yeah, we're using our
Or
fingers
you're
and
forced
thumbs.
to buy the ones with tabs on them.
Right.
Which the tab a lot of dentists don't like because it gets in the way of your view when you're shaping, the adjacent marginal ridges. It really gets in the way, and it's difficult to take those out sometimes with their systems.
So you sell the bands and the pliers?
No, I do not. I do not sell the bands because I just sell the pliers. They work with any
Who makes
bands.
the pliers for you?
I have a manufacturer that makes
Oh,
them.
you don't have a dental company
But
making them? You have an instrument company?
I do individually shape and contour the tips.
You do yourself?
I do it myself. Now, this is a brand new deal. I mean, a brand new company. But rather than doing this is a mesial plier.
Okay.
You squeeze it to load. See the ledge? Let me turn the band around the right way. These are Paladin bands. Load it. Boom. Okay. And then, because when you get that band seated into position where you want it,
Right.
then you squeeze the arms together and leave it there.
Okay.
And to avoid dropping it while you're carrying it, delivering it, you shift to a grip like this. Okay, and that way you can not drop it inadvertently, and you can push down on it. Feel how I can put downward pressure to seat it.
Okay. Very cool.
And then, as Howard very astutely pointed out, you can take the tip and burnish it.
Great idea.
Now the distal plier,
And how much are these set of pliers?
$150 for one set. Multiple sets, 135%. You get a 10% discount, which is a steal. They should be priced higher, I believe, but it's a new product. For as long as it takes, I'm going to keep them
if
down.
This was Shark Tank right now, and not the Dentistry Uncensored podcast. What would you say?
I like it. I like it.
Well,
Is there a certain thing you say on Shark Tank? I've never seen it.
You never seen
Oh,
Shark
it's great.
Tank? Have you seen Shark
I
Tank?
love it.
What do you say when something's thumbs up? Thumbs up or?
Well, what I love
No,
about
you
Shark
say,
Tank
"I'll
is
buy
it's
in."
the only
I'm
program.
buying. Okay, I'm buying.
It's the only program that all four of my boys like to watch with Dad. If I turn
Good
on
enough.
the NFL football, it's about two of the four boys.
Okay.
They turn on Shark Tank, they all love Shark Tank. But I really like this because the bottom line is, and I always thought I was lucky because when I was in dental school, I had one of the smallest hands of my friends. One of my best friends in dental school was a linebacker from Notre Dame.
Wow.
Oh boy.
And in fact, the most interesting story, rotary files started with McSpadden out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Right.
And you know what the mother of invention of all that was?
No,
Have you ever met John McSpadden?
I believe so.
He's the size of a door.
Yeah.
And everybody was saying, "Oh, take these endo files and do this." And I can
boy.
lay my hand in John McSpadden's palm,
Okay.
and he just this big moose of a man. He's like,
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, and so he had to run home and invent an engine-driven file holder. And that whole thing started
Mushroom.
because that guy couldn't get his finger and thumb. And I always thought I was lucky, Dennis, because I had these little dainty little girly hands, and I had no problem. But I personally have
These
a problem
are-
placing these on my
everybody
finger
does. I mean,
and thumb.
There's just
Do
no
you?
room.
I used to use the ones the little thing.
Pinhole tap.
It never worked right. Did they
Yeah.
pop off or did
Well,
you couldn't get the whole?
I have to be
So what do you think
cautious
of
in
the
what I
price?
say. Well, you haven't even seen the benefit.
They'll last forever.
You haven't even seen
I would
full
think-
benefits.
I think some dentists might, to be honest with you, might think, like, but you have need multiple sets for sterilization, because one will be sterilization.
for composite setups.
Yeah, you need like at least 3 setups of it.
Mhm.
With dentists.
But there's more
There's
advantageous
more.
features.
There's more.
But that's not it.
Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
Order now and
get the
we'll
Digimatics.
second one for free or something. No, I did not say that. Distal plier, you seat it. Do your restoration. Take your ring off after you've cured your composite. You don't need to get hemostats. The distal dryer plier,
Right.
the tighter you squeeze it, the tighter that gets, and it's all concentrated on that point. You grab it at any accessible place, lift
And
it
that's hard
out,
to do.
try to pull that band out of that plier.
Yeah, and that's hard
Don't
to
cut
do.
yourself.
Wow.
Besides bands, can you use this as hemostats and certain things for some other things?
Well,
Look, and
removing
that's two bands.
the matrix band is one of the hardest things, especially
Yeah,
if
I
it's
don't
got
think it
some
would
kind of
have any
bonding
other-
on to the
Yeah.
restorative material.
Now, after you've placed that in the distal, same thing. You use that tip, burnish. And the tips are smoothly polished, so on both sides. It's a concave on one side, convex on the other, just like the sectional
And
matrix
I think
band.
everybody, in trying to remove the matrix after the filling is cured,
Oh, that's huge.
everybody at least once is trying to work that off, and then it pulls out too fast, and then gouges
Look at
soft
that.
tissue injury on the way
Second
out.
molar.
I mean, have you not done that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
to be able to precisely work that out without having to, would
Oh,
be very
yeah,
nice.
you can lift it up without, I think what you're referring
So
to,
you had some
Howard,
other
is
things. You had
not
a reality
traumatizing
thing.
it.
Is that a reality for Michael Miller?
Yes, it's
So
not
Mike-
on my product, though.
Not on mine. Is Michael Miller still doing the reality? Does he?
Yes, he is.
Is he still? Does
He
he
is.
still have his book?
Yes, he is. And I recently sent him a set, and
So he's still doing that in Houston with his orthodontist wife Ingrid.
I don't know that many details about his personal life,
we should
but
podcast
yes.
with Michael Miller of Reality and his orthodontist wife Ingrid.
I don't believe. I mean, initially, I just got the, I got the impression that maybe he was kind of lukewarm on these pliers, but he did say that they would evaluate them. So
I would
just
be
need to
very
do it.
nervous if I was him married to an orthodontist in Houston. Remember that other orthodontist in Houston who
that ran
drove
over
her husband 3 times?
Woo!
We're still alive. I just don't know if I'd marry an orthodontist.
You're not afraid of any lawsuits, are you?
I don't know if I'd marry an orthodontist if I lived in Houston, Texas. But
I just don't let her drive.
Just don't let her drive. Well, hey, best of luck to you. Is it okay if he posts a thread on this and posts his YouTube video, or is that commercial?
I can tell him how the right way of doing it.
Well, tell him the right way to do that.
Right way of doing it is to get someone off the record.
No. Hey, other people need to learn too.
Because I want Hogo to explain.
No, we don't want Dentaltown to become too spammy. In other words, so we don't want people come and say, "Hey, try our new pliers." Blah blah blah. The only one on the market that. But if someone asks a question, hey, I hear about these new dryer pliers. Does anyone know anything about them? Well, that would be a perfect opportunity for you to jump in and give all the information you have on it. Or
has anybody asked that question?
I'm sure. Well, no, but.
Well, I mean, they're not even. I'm not even marketing them. I mean, I've literally just started.
But also just hanging out on Dentaltown.
I have a website. That's it.
I'm on the app, and I'm going to search Dryer, Dreyer.
Dryer. Dryer. Just like the appliance.
Dryer.
Pliers. Pliers. But you'll still find it that way.
Oh no, it's
Pliers. Hopefully that's how you spell pliers.
Okay.
If not, it's too late.
There's already 3 threads where that shows up.
How about that?
How do you get contacts with? And by the way, on this phone app, I mean, when you dentists are at home and you're having a question eating at you, and you have a smartphone in your pocket where you could download the Dentaltown app, 205,000 dentists, there's really almost no question you could ask that someone else hasn't already asked. So here is where John Kink is even on that thread, the infamous John, and Marty. Yeah, you should be. They're talking about it.
What you can do is you can subscribe to Dryer Plier, the words Dryer Plier, and every time it comes up, you get an email.
Subscribe to that thread,
and then you get an email for contact of the thread.
I hate to say it, but with after my life-changing events, I haven't been on Dentaltown for a few years.
We gotta fix that. Well, now you.
I know.
But so, do you think you explained to the podcast viewers about the rules of, we don't want to be spammy?
You don't want to be spammy.
He's a dentist,
right? But you come there, you help answer questions. Someone has asked a question, you say, hey, you should try this. You keep all your contact information in your signature area. No links in the post, but you can put links in the signature area.
Right.
What's the difference in a post and a signature area?
Cammy, would you like to explain that? No. A
post is what you're typing.
Okay.
Yeah, what you're writing.
But at the end. Your signature, you have set up
beforehand,
standard, your name, your ad, contact information, your website, whatever, that type of thing. And people can turn that off. There is a setting that.
And I want to make one comment about Howard Goldstein on this deal. Is that the single biggest mistake I ever made with Dentaltown, besides hiring Cammy, is the fact that I didn't understand in '98 what a cyberbully was. And I thought, every dentist has 8 years of college. We're all adults. I'm not going to go in there and do anything. I mean, you guys are all adults. And it took me till you were one of the first people that were telling me, you got some cyberbullies on here that need to go. And I was a libertarian. Not into big government. Come on, we're all dentists. You got 8 years of college. Who am I to edit what you're saying? They're always virus. But it was you, the one who told me there are cyberbullies and they're going to ruin this town. And we finally put you in charge, and you banned some people. And
And some of them we brought back after they learned their lesson, and they did great.
And I just want to credit you of making Dentaltown a fun place to go where. And by the way, and I want to talk about another dispute where a lot of dentists on Dentaltown don't like the fact that some of these people talking are anonymous. But it was Rella Christian, who's Gordon Christian's wife, who kept telling me, Howard, you have to leave anonymous because dentistry needs a place where you can ask a stupid question.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everybody say who they are, and there's no place that any dentist can go to ask a stupid question that's not going to serve dentistry. But we know who the dentists are when they register. Yeah. Howard Goldstein knows who they are.
And we keep them anonymous, but we got to make sure that they really are
and
dentists.
Explain the report abuse button.
After every post, there's a spot. After every post, there's a spot where you hit report abuse. If you see someone being a cyberbully, and rather than you fight back and just report it, we'll take care of it. Same as spam. If someone says, "Hey, come to my, buy our widget for today for it's like nobody wants to see that on Dentaltown."
Right.
So, Helga, what percent of dentists would you say are just batshit crazy?
At this table?
Oh, hey now. Hey.
At this table, it'd be at least a third. Possibly 2/3.
Shit.
But what percent would you say of dentists in general?
About half. About half.
About half.
Yeah.
Because man, you're
Well,
so good. Because I get it. I see the behind the scenes stuff, and I mean, it's sometimes I'm thinking to myself, how can you have 8 years of college and be that illogical?
Right.
And it's like, sometimes it just makes you realize that all humans at the end of the day are just talking monkeys.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a dentist.
I think, I have a theory on that.
The United States,
I think it's because most dentists are alone. They're like the king in their practice. And all of their staff, everyone else in the office, is afraid to say, oh, no, that's crazy, or that doesn't make sense. Or
no one stands up to doctor.
No one. And so that's,
so then when
it's easy to develop I know everything.
Yeah. And the big thing is that there's so many different ways of being a good dentist. It's a profession where someone could do an amalgam and someone could do composite, and the patient is going to have great restoration either way as long as they do it right.
Yeah, just do it right.
But some dentists get the idea that my way is the only right way.
Yeah, that's irritating
and it drives me crazy
and
when I
wrong.
see posts like that where it's like, you're not doing it my way, it's wrong. And
right.
It's like, really, is your ego that fragile that it has to be your way? Can't it be another way also?
And those are the dentists that think they have an office manager, but they really don't, because the office manager doesn't ever stand up to them.
Right.
Because the office manager knows, well, if I want to keep my job, I'm just going to agree with you. And that's what I call the Saddam Hussein staff. Because Saddam Hussein's staff was telling them, oh yeah, you can defend America. Yeah. You can keep America out of here.
Yeah.
And if you told Saddam that wasn't true, he would execute you.
Right.
And then when he finally picked a war, he lasted 100 hours. And if your office manager, but if your office manager doesn't feel like she can go get another job tomorrow, then she's not going to stand up to the doctor. You don't have an office manager. You have the yes man. And I see that on Dentaltown, where you can just tell that some dentists are just profoundly shocked that anyone disagreed with them. They're just such in a bubble of like, I am the 400-pound gorilla, and nobody ever questions me. And they're just stunned that someone actually questions them.
Right. You have to have you can't have a fragile ego. And not too many people. I'm a dentist. I'm my own office. I'm the king. No, you can't. You got to be.
And how did you, over the years, develop a thicker skin, a less fragile ego?
I've always had a self-deprecating humor myself, making fun of myself. But they know I'm still the boss. But still, every time I did a job interview, I had every single person, even the girls working there 1 hour a week on the interview. Because I don't always could tell. They pick up things that I can't always pick up, and I pick up things that they can't pick up.
You get in trouble
I want everyone there.
I think I developed a very thick skin just by realizing that we're all complicated. Mm-hmm. Our brains are all different. We all hear things, see things differently. And when someone just profoundly is seeing, acting, behaving a totally different way, you just think that's how they saw it. We're all animals. We're all talking monkeys. And you just got to... I think as you get older, you lower your expectations of people, and then people can't let you down. People, when people... I remember the funniest thing ever was when the guy with all the Olympic gold medals, the
Mark Spitz.
Spitz, and he got caught with pot, and all these people are like,
Phelps. That was
Phelps.
Oh, Michael Phelps.
And they're all like,
Yeah.
they're all let down because Phelps got. And I'm like, dude, when an Olympic swimmer lets you down, your expectations are too.
Yeah.
I mean, why would a complete stranger you've never met be letting you down right now?
Exactly.
Maybe you should lower your expectations for the whole planet Earth, and maybe some guy on TV you never met should not be letting you down. And I think on Dentaltown, when you realize that, what I love the most about Dentaltown is, the insurance companies are against us, the patients want everything for free, the staff want a raise every time the sun went around the moon, and sometimes you feel like that you work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week just to provide free jobs and free dentistry for half the community. And Dentaltown needs to be a special, fun place where we can go to get refueled and nourished, and I like the fact that you got rid of the negative energy.
You gave me the lead on what to do, and I figured out how to do it, and it's done. And but I'll be honest with you, we get more reports of abuse on spam than the negativity now, where everybody says, no, look, there's spam, and usually there is, and we have to get rid of it.
Yeah, and sometimes I tell people that where I'm afraid they're going to be reported spam, and just go on there and say, Howard told me to do it. Howard told me to come.
We get that. We do get that.
But hey, any last words on your product? How do they buy them? You go to DryerPliers.com.
Dryer
and I spelled
Pliers.
it wrong. I admit it. I spelled it wrong.
Well, even
twice.
if you misspell it, it will
Kansas.
probably
we
find
just
it.
had hieroglyphics on the side of a barn. It's DryerPliers.com. And you're Jeff Dryer, Dryer.
As in the dryer pliers.
Dryer Pliers. But
why not?
well, hey, congratulations on surviving a motorcycle crash.
Congratulations
on coming back. I think your hygienist wife is adorable.
Yeah,
I can tell she's really got your back, and she's got more.
That says a lot for her to stick with me through that's another thing about
against a dentist marrying a hygienist after I met.
I know everyone told me. Did you?
Don't do what Hogo did. Don't do what Hogo did. No, your wife is adorable too. So I'm with two men that married a hygienist.
It can work.
To success?
It can. Well, if they're right.
We don't work together.
Yeah, mine quit after
I think she
got together. She quit.
She worked in my office like 3 months. And it would be, I say, Debbie, could you get it yourself?
Exactly.
This is not working.
So the rest of the staff goes, ooh.
Hello.
So she works elsewhere. She's a teacher, as you know.
Yeah.
Well, Howard, in 30 seconds, can you tell us what your thoughts on the American healthcare system?
Boom.
I will. I absolutely will in 30 seconds.
I'd like to hear this.
I would say this. The American healthcare system is the most expensive. It's really one of the earliest ones, unregulated. You're spending about $7,000 per person, and you're not covering $50 million. Then after World War II, a lot of countries started socialized medicine because Winston Churchill was telling all these countries when they rebuild after World War II that if all your people are sick and dumb, you're not going to build a country. So let's spend a lot of money on education and healthcare. So after World War II, about 20 countries from Britain, Germany, all these countries had socialized healthcare systems, and they all did it differently. And then they had lower costs and they covered everyone. But what really made me the most interested is the last systems. Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore. And these people had 50 years of data to watch how England did it slightly different than Germany versus Denmark versus Australia, New Zealand, Canada. And they studied all that. And 10 years ago, Singapore and Taiwan set up their systems. And every healthcare economist that I know at Arizona State University says they have the highest outcomes and the lowest price. And if you look at outcomes in America, you see outcomes for cancer in the richest hospitals like Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Sloan. Those guys are having about 10% less mortality than the hospital up the street from you. And that's what Hong Kong and Taiwan and Singapore figured out. Like, let's get all this data. And I think one of the craziest things on dentistry is, like, they'll come out with a new crown. And we've all been practicing years. Remember Targus Vectrus?
Yes.
I don't know what Targus meant. I don't know what Vectrus meant, but I know they didn't like each other. And there was another one, Art Glass. I don't know, Horace called. I don't know what the glass, but basically in dentistry, whenever they put two different materials together, they usually delaminate. But but since all the dentist data was not connected on a common platform, no one was. I mean, we should have known. There could have been 1 million units cemented, and 6 months later we already knew there was a problem. But all the dentist data is fragmented. And that's what a national health insurance does, is by putting all the data on one platform, you just sit there and say, well, you know what? The people treating prostate cancer like this are having better outcomes than the people treating prostate cancer like that. Well, and I think that America is headed correctly towards a single-payer system. And I think that, and I also think it's a shame that the number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States is from healthcare. And we recently know of very rich dentists who can't afford their own cancer. And if a rich dentist can't afford cancer treatment, then what's the middle class and the poor going to do?
I agree with you totally. I agree with you totally on that, Howard. We can talk all day on this subject alone, but I don't know how we got started, Freddie.
Because you asked me.
I did ask it. I knew it was a setup too, but I totally agree with you. People complain about, dentists are going to make money no matter what system it is. Let's face it. It's a good profession, and you're going to be well off no matter what. It's not going to kill us.
And that's what Taiwan and Singapore figured out, is that they had no problem with letting you earn as much money as you wanted, but you were going to see more patients, work more hours. They were giving doctors more money to do treatment before 8 a.m., after 5 p.m., and on Saturday. I mean, they were doing the time and a half thing. I think it's silly.
But you didn't have to. If you wanted to make less money, you didn't have to do that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you could have it either way.
I think a big problem with Americans' healthcare system is the litigation that is so prominent. If you don't have like a tort reform,
well, the way you have to look at litigation,
they're going to charge more and have to charge more and more.
The way you have to look at litigation at the end of the day is there's 950,000 MDs and there's 1 million attorneys, and 1 million attorneys bill out $1 trillion a year. So when you look at our $17 trillion economy, $1 trillion goes to lawyers, and until the United States realizes that to have our legal system, that you're going to give them $1 trillion a year, and if Americans are good with that, great. But I don't think Americans realize that one of the most easily taxes they could reduce is the legal profession. And those guys are taxing us $1 trillion a year, and no one pays attention to it. I pay attention to it. I mean, you could lower, the only secret to lower prices is lower costs, and you could lower the cost of everything made in America by $1 trillion if you tackled the 1 million attorneys. But we're off subject, but we're on to our next. I'm going to have to let you go because we have a guest waiting who's so much cuter than you are.
Well, hey, I'm still honored to meet you in person. Thank you for your time,
thank
Howard.
You for all you do.
It's a bonus to meet you too, Doctor.